welcome to this live stream. So I just want to check that everything is just working here, because obviously it takes about 20-30 seconds for things to feed through. There's a bit of a delay, a bit of a lag, but welcome. Thank you so much for everybody joining in on this live stream. So yeah, big hello to everybody. I'd love you to say hello in the chat if you are there. It'd be great to say hello, and also, you know, where you guys are from. That would be awesome too. Yeah, to hear where you guys are from and everything. So yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a good time this evening and see what we can get up to, and see if I can answer any of your kind of questions that we, well, you guys have about Apple products coming out in 2025, because as you can guess, in 2024, yeah, everything's been undone from Apple, from that side of it. So yeah, everyone's highs are starting to come through there. So good hello to everyone. I can see like Checkster777. You know, I've seen your comment loads of times on my videos. I think you're always one of the first to comment there. There's another one called Mediaverse. Hello to you, Mama Chi, Wayne Ivy, Gary Partridge, Robert Kraz, Rach, Server. So yeah, great to hear from you guys. Now, what I will be saying to you guys is that I will not be doing the giveaway tonight. So, you know, as much as I will say I have it right here, the iPhone 16 Pro Max that I'm going to be giving out, and I might mention it once or twice that we are still doing the giveaway, that is not coming tonight. That probably will most likely be my next live stream, depending how well this one goes. But, you know, that will be coming in the future very, very soon. So I will just be saying that. The last thing I just want to quickly say, famous words I said in my video, isn't it? Last thing I just want to quickly say is that with the chat here as well, I think I said it in the actual description, any kind of super chats, any super stickers are really, really appreciated from you guys, and it will definitely prioritize your questions to definitely be answered this evening or today, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world right now. So yeah, that's what I'll do. But obviously I'll do one or two freebies as well. So let's have a look then what people are saying here. So I can see a question in straight away from I'm in a red bundle. Let's read this question. It says, when is the next Mac Pro coming out? That's a good question. Well, I've been reading leaks and rumors coming out that it's going to be potentially coming in probably the second half of 2025. Now, this is a weird one because we've heard that we're going to be getting the Mac Studio. And if you remember the last time we got a Mac Studio, and we also got the likes of the Mac Pro with Apple Silicon for the first time. I think this was the M2 Ultra in the Mac Pro and the Mac Studio. The Mac Studio had M2 Max 2. But when they both came out together at the exact same time, but the Mac Pro, we've been hearing that it's going to be actually separated out this time. So what's most likely going to be the case here is that it's probably going to be the new MacBook Airs. I might be answering other people's questions here, coming out in the likes of around about, say, March or April time. If Apple are going to be doing an event, I will answer another question because I can see people asking about the iPhone SE, and I'm going to relate that to that in a second. So that is when, you know, that's most likely going to be coming. But then in, say, I'd say WWDC, it's looking like that we've heard from leaks and rumors that the Mac Studio is coming out then, and that will have the likes of the M4 Max and the M4 Ultra inside of that. But then moving on, it seems like that probably, you know, sometime near the iPhone launch. I wouldn't say the iPhone launch because it makes no sense for this. This is the iPhone 17s. But soon after that, we may get a new Mac Studio coming out around that time. That's what Mark Gurman's been saying. So it's the second half of 2025. Now, you might be going, well, M5 will be coming out then. Well, I think it might be actually coming out in 2026 because, again, other leaks and rumors have been saying that the M5 is going to start production at the end of 2025. And obviously, as you know this, you know, Apple don't, you know, announce a new product, go, here's the M5, and then, oh, we haven't actually built anything in the factories yet. So yeah, that is what I always say there. So it's looking like, I'd say M5 is going to be potentially 2026. So you know, what other people are saying here, I've seen a few questions here, like, for example, like Jardum, I think I could say, was it Jordan? He says, I want an iPhone SE4. A few other people are saying iPhone SE4. I see Techni Dynamics, or if I'm saying your name right, apologies, and a few others. When is this coming out? Well, the good news is this is probably one of the, you know, the next Apple products is that it's definitely going to come out is the iPhone SE. And this is probably going to be around about kind of March or April time. Apple, when they do an event, they traditionally do it in March or April time. So more than likely it's going to be around that kind of time. And the great thing is, you know, it's definitely going to be on the cards here. We've been waiting since 2022 since the last update to the iPhone SE. And the last iPhone SE update was just the same iPhone SE as before, but had 5G capability in it. And we had, I think it was the, correct me if I'm wrong guys, was it the A15? I think the A15 got put inside of it. So yeah, but one of the cool things I would be saying about the new iPhone SE, it will have an A18 inside of it. What is awesome, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So this is kind of the same chip and exactly the same similar kind of power to what we will have in the likes of, say, an iPhone 16 normal. And this is going to be awesome. Maybe Apple might clock down the clock speed slightly less. I don't know, because like they've done that before. Apple did that with, say, the A17 Pro inside of the iPad Mini, what came out a couple of months ago now. They might do the same. But the main thing is 8 gigabytes of RAM is needed, and A18 works with Apple Intelligence. I can't see him putting an A17 Pro inside of it. It just doesn't make sense because obviously the iPhone SE is not really a pro device. It's a budget phone. So I can't really see that happening. So yeah, but I hope that's answered your questions there is about the iPhone SE. And just one last one there about the price of the iPhone SE 4. Well, you know, to keep it competitive, I believe Apple will probably keep it around the same price. Is it? I think it's $430 right now in US dollars. I'll say that. I don't know around the rest of the world. I haven't done my research there on that. But that's the price right now. If it is going to go up in price, I can't see it going more than $500, $499. That is the highest I would see it going personally, because at the end of the day, you know, Apple sell the iPhone 15, for example, and is it $699 now? It's $100 less than what it was last year. So do you get me? If it was $599, it's getting a bit silly, you know, to be that price. I think the maximum it could be is $499 with that one. So yeah, but you never know. I think they could retain it at 430, or I would probably more be thinking 450. And what you've got to remember with that is that we're going to be getting new kind of like a new design based on the iPhone 14. I know a lot of you guys are going, oh, what about the iPhone mini design? You know, the iPhone 12 mini, the 13 mini. They should be using that. It's smaller. I've told so many times on my videos before, remember, Apple are making their SE out of, how can I put it, leftover parts, as it were, and a combination of some new parts. So, you know, they made loads of iPhone kind of 14s, because that's what it's going to be based on. Normal, the 6.1 inch version. So that is why it will be based on that design. It just so happens that the previous iPhone SEs was based on the iPhone 8. And obviously that was smaller than, say, the iPhone 10 in its screen size. And then the 10, you know, I think we had the 10X, was it the XS Max, the 10S Max and 10R, whatever. They were bigger. It's just the evolution. And then before that, the iPhone 5C, what became the first iPhone SE, yes, that was smaller. We had the iPhone 6, the 6 Plus, and the S's, you know, and the 7s. They were bigger. It just so happens they've got bigger, but in the last, you know, if we look at Apple in the last sort of 5-6 years, the screen sizes haven't really got much bigger. I know we went from something like 6.78 to like just under 6.9 inch on, say, a Pro Max this year, and the Pros, they've gone up from 6.1 to 6.3, but the overall body shape hasn't really increased, has it? And the actual design, it's an old design, and so the old sort of design, what they're going to be using is something of a design of, say, an iPhone sort of 12, 13, 14. It was the iPhone 15 when the design started changing more, wasn't it? If we could say that was a design change. So with that, then that is where, why it won't be the likes of an iPhone 13 mini or say a iPhone 12 mini design. That's what they wouldn't be using there. So let's see then, let's answer some other questions. I hope we've covered the iPhone SE there. It's a good amount of detail, and also the Mac Pro too, but thank you for your questions. The next thing I just want to quickly say to you guys again is that, if you do want your question definitely answered, super chats are definitely welcome here, and also stickers too. I will make sure I will definitely answer your questions if you do that. So yeah, that'd be really, really cool, if you could do that. It just helps the channel along and things like this. Let's have a look at another one here. Qtronics, what are you most looking forward to next year, product-wise? Oh, that is a good question. For me, I'm going to be honest with you, I do really, really want to see the new iPhone SE, what we've just talked about there, because there's so many budget phones out there, but, at the same time, that Android are definitely ahead. There's no other way of saying it for a kind of SE phone or something like this. So yeah, I think they're definitely the best Androids are right now, and I want to see how Apple tackle this. So I am really looking forward to seeing what that is, and especially if we just talked about the price there being about, say, under $500 or so. What can they do for $500? That would be really, really interesting to see that on that one. The other thing I'm really interested to see next year is the M4 Ultra in the Mac Studio or the Mac Pro, to see what that power is. I just want to be curious what Apple can do there, not just in CPU, but in GPU performance. And you probably heard, we've got the RTX 5090 and 5080 potentially coming in January or February sort of time. So yeah, that's just one of those sort of things, around that sort of thing there, that it will be interesting to see how Apple can grade their Mac Studio to that. A lot of people asking here, what about the giveaway, Mac? The giveaway is not happening tonight. I will say it, or today, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. I do have the iPhone 16 Pro Max, what I have right here. Am I holding it upside down? I am. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to say that, yeah, it's going to be coming soon, the announcement of when I'm going to be doing the live stream for this, but it's not tonight. Bit more time to enter in, and if you guys this is the first time you're hearing about the giveaway, do check out some previous videos, like even the video I made today, for example, about the AirPods Max 2, gives you details about the giveaway, what you need to do at this stage. There is some more bits and pieces that will be coming out in another video in the future very soon, but I can tell you this now, guys, it will be before Christmas, definitely on that one. So yeah, but going back then, I hope that answered your question there, Qtronics there, with that one. Some other people saying big hellos there, big hello from Mexico and things like this. Hello to all of you guys all out there. Let's just have a look then and see some other questions. What processor will be in the iPhone 17 series? And that's from Feifei Isaiah, I think it is. I'll just answer that, but just before I answer that, I'll just quickly say again to you guys, if you definitely want your question to be answered tonight, definitely, if you can do a kind of super thanks or, any stickers or anything like that, your question will definitely be answered this evening, or this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are in the world, I will definitely answer your question. But going back to Feifei, I think it's Isaiah or Isla, whatever your question is, well, it's going to be the new A19 Pro and the new A19, as it were, depending on which models you get. So what we've heard is that for the Pro series, so this is going to be the iPhone 17 Pro and also the iPhone 17 Pro Max, this is going to be definitely the A19 Pro. What I'd be saying with that is that probably, again, we're probably going to see increases of around about 20% sort of increase in speed. It's not going to be huge amounts. We've gone past those days now where people go, oh, Apple don't do any big innovations in kind of CPUs or anything. Whereas, do you remember, I don't know if you remember this, in the old days, it used to be that, like when the iPhone 4 got announced, it was like, it's 5 times or 6 times faster than the original iPhone, what came out 3 years ago. We don't have that anymore. It's more like now, oh, the new, A18 Pro is, I don't know, 80% faster than the chip that we had in the iPhone 12. So, it's checked. It was the A14, I think it was, So things have changed. So it will be that. And then the likes of the iPhone 17 and the iPhone 17 Air, or the iPhone 17 Slim, if you want to call it that, that is most likely going to be the standard A19 inside of it. And I did do a video when the iPhones came out, and it was quite interesting to actually see the difference between the A18 and the A18 Pro. In CPU performance, there was not much in it whatsoever. And also in graphics, it was about 6% faster or something, if I remember. It wasn't much. I think it was literally that the A18 Pro is designed to work with, say, that USB controller, to get USB free speeds, 10 gigabits and things like this. It's not meaning that the Pro chip in the iPhone is that it's way, way faster. It definitely isn't that case. I've noticed that. And I think this is why, Apple even put the A17 Pro inside the likes of the iPad mini, because they wanted to make the USB speed faster. I think that's the only main reason why they didn't pick the A18. I think they put the A17 Pro on that reason. They wouldn't put the A18 Pro because that was more expensive, but that's why I think I put it inside it, because of that USB port. So yeah, quite interesting on that one. Let's see then what other people are asking here. Other questions, have a look. How many cores will the M4 have? That's from Moonjong John, if I'm saying your name there correctly. Good question. Now, I personally think what this will be, it will be the binned version of the M4. So yeah, I'm talking the likes of if you know the iPad Pro right now, the iPad Pro, there's two sort of M4 chips out there. I know the iMac, there's another one again. I'm not going to go into the iMac one because that one's just bleh. But I think it's going to be the same power as what the iPad Pro has right now. Whereas if you get the the version what's got the 256 gigabyte storage or the 512 gigabytes, you get 6 efficiency cores and 3 performance cores. It's got 9 cores in total. Whereas say the Mac Mini, let's say the MacBook Pro M4, there is the 10 core version of that one. And that 10 core version of that chip, that is the one that's got an extra performance core inside of it. I think that Apple will be offering us the baseline M4 will be the 9 core version. You will be able to buy the 10 core version. You probably have to pay $100 more, something like this for it. But that will be the one that will be inside of the MacBook Air. So yeah, I really, really hope that does actually help you out there. Let's have a look here. Someone else here says from, I think I'm saying your name right, OKO. I'd love Apple to slow down a bit on new CPU releases. Phew, it's scary that we're already on M4 line of CPU so soon. To be honest, I'm going to say this, I completely agree. It's so quick. It's, we're getting new CPUs. Last year was the craziest, wasn't it? We got the likes of the M2 in January. Well, not the M2, we had the M2 Pro and the M2 Max. And then a year later, not even a year later in November time, we got the likes of the M3 series came out. It came out what was it, about 9.5 months later? And that was just crazy. Now, I know that I did read some research into it, that Apple were going to release those M2 Pro and M2 Max MacBook Pros back potentially when the iPad Pro came out with the M2, and I think we got the 10th generation iPad at the end of 2022. But still, every year, say if that did happen, it would have been 22, M2 Pro, M2 Max, end of 2023, M3 Pro, M3 Max, and now here we've got the M4 Max, M4 Pro, and the M4, in a Mac. It is crazy. I am definitely going to say that, and I do agree that Apple need to slow down here. But I think at the end of the day, if we look to others out there, other manufacturers of chips, let's take the big boys, as it were. So Intel and AMD, they bring out now a new series every year, don't they? We're on the Ultra second line now, aren't we, with Intel, I think, and then obviously AMD, we're on the 9000 series now. And that was, last year we had the 8000 series, or, we still had some of the 7000 series rolling out the beginning of last year. I even got myself a 7800 3DX or whatever it is for my gaming computer. That's another story. So, the point is that, you know, they bring out their new series every year, and I think that's what Apple are trying to do. And I think that it's a big question here, because I know that I spoke about this in another video as well a couple of months ago. You know, should Apple be releasing a new iPhone every year? Personally, no. Should you be upgrading every year? No. I definitely do not agree to that. I upgrade, and the only reason why I upgrade is because of you guys. That's the best way I can say it. Because of video reviews. Can you imagine that? I reviewed, you know, every 3 years a new iPhone. But that's the only reason why I do it. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I would be upgrading my iPhone probably every 3 to 4 years, because that is when you actually feel the difference of an upgrade. And it's the same sort of thing. It's like why we've been saying, you know, in recent reviews and other reviewers, with the M1 Pro to say like the M4 Pro, we're finally saying maybe you can upgrade now. Or, you know, M1 Max to M4 Max. Yeah, maybe. Don't get me wrong, the M1 Max and the M1 Pro is great, but you could actually, you know, upgrade. Now, here's the chance. But before that, with the M3 Pro and the M3 Max, the M2 Pro and the M2 Max, no, there was no point doing it. So, yeah, it was really, really strange on that one. So, yeah, there's my little ramble there on that one. I hope that helps there on, you know, we're moving on with M4 and everything, new devices so quickly. So I hope that helps. Let's have a look then at the next kind of questions do we have here. Let's have a look at Wayne Ivy Atchison. I hope I'm saying your name right. Do you have any info on the AirPods Pro 3? Yes, I do. And in fact, check out the video I made yesterday on this channel. It gives you all the details about it, and you know what I will be saying to you guys as well is that if you want more information apart from this Q&A, definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, because I'm always releasing new videos and new information telling you guys about the latest products and what we've been hearing. So if you haven't done so already, do that right now, because it will really, really help you out. So going back then to the AirPods Pro 3, in summary, next year, well, yeah, it is next year, 2025. I thought it was in 2025 for a second there. We will be getting a new AirPods Pro. And I'm really, really excited for it, because it will be the H3 chip inside of it. So, yeah, that will be really, really cool to see. But, yeah, I can see personally a new design, because the AirPods Pro first generation to the second generation, there's not much design difference. There is a little bit in the actual earbuds or AirPods, whatever you put into your ear, what you want to call them. Slightly different tweak design on that, but generally speaking, they are the same. And I think Apple are going to be bringing out a brand new design on these, because you've got to remember the first generation AirPods Pro came out at the end of 2019. So really, we haven't had a design change now, you know, by the time next year comes, but it'll be about 6 years almost by that point. So I think a new design is coming. So on that one. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that. And I will say as well, right now, guys, there's some great deals on the AirPods Pro 2. Do check out some of my videos, because I've got some links to them. I think you can actually pick up like the AirPods Pro 2 now for $170, AirPods Pro 2. That's cheaper than buying the AirPods 4 with you know, active noise cancellation from Apple. That doesn't make any sense, does it? And they're better, the AirPods Pro 2, in my opinion. So yeah, I just want to say that is pretty crazy. Now, the next question I'm going to answer here is people are saying, let's say here, Feifei is loving to answer your question again. Is it true that the camera placements will be horizontal in the next productions of the iPhone 17? That is a brilliant question. Now, do you guys want to see something, a little sneak of something? If you bear with me, I'm going to show you guys something. Now, I've made myself some videos of, say, the iPhone, what's it called? Pro Max and the iPhone Pro. I'm just going to get up a link here on my other screen to show you guys where I've actually shown you guys, you know, the iPhone 17, the placement of the cameras is, like we said, it's going to be kind of a horizontal kind of link, you know, kind of bar at the top, a bit like the Pixel, as it were. So I want to show you guys something. I'm going to get up on my screen. A nice surprise here for you guys of what I've been working on recently. So this is a secret, okay? And I want to share with you what I think the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max is going to look like. Now, if you've seen my recent Pro Max and Pro Max, Pro and Pro Max, can't say it, 17 Pro and Pro Max, it's a different design to that. Let me just grab it for you here, because you are going to absolutely love this design. I can guarantee you. So I'm just going to get my video ready here for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change some settings here just to show you. So look at this. I'm just going to shrink myself down here, if I can. You can tell I'm not very good at this, can't you? So let me shrink this down. Right. Are you guys ready? You know, get ready in the chat. I'm going to show you something really, really cool. There's no sound to this whatsoever. It's something that I've created, and I want to share it with you guys, you know, here today. And, you know, I really, really hope that you guys like this, what I've created. So, yeah, let me show you this video right here. So this is what I think the iPhone 17 is going to look like. Take a look. What do you think to this? It's a little bit stuttery, but I think we've got it all wrong. I think the cameras are going to be vertical. And I think it's going to look something like this. This is what I believe the iPhone 17 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro Max is going to look like. What do you think of that, guys? Do you like it? Let me know here in the chat. And I'm going to be making a video about this design very, very soon. So like I say, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you definitely subscribe to this channel, okay? And also hit the notification bell to get more details about them. I'm just going to stop that right there on that one. And I'm just going to flick back here. So that is the new design I believe it's going to look like. Now, just in case you wanted to know, some of you guys are probably also going to say, well, what about, say, the iPhone, is it the iPhone 17 Air or the iPhone Air? What's that design going to look like? Well, the great thing is I've also got you some previews on how that could look too. So just bear with me again. I will show you what this could actually look like. So this one does look really cool as well. I'm really, really excited about these, definitely. So what I've got is I've got some pictures to show you on this one, because obviously I haven't finalized a video, but I want to show you what it could potentially look like. So here we go. Let me just minimize this down again. This is what the iPhone 17 Air could look like there. See that? I think that we could potentially be getting now, I'm pointing the right way here, you know, I think that we will be getting the same sort of bar coming down vertically, but obviously it won't have all the cameras in it. That's what I believe there. And then obviously if I just move to the next picture here, if I can skip ahead, does it allow me to skip ahead? There we go. There's a few more pictures there. And there we go. That's another one. Another one again. And another one for you guys just to show you what the iPhone 17 Air could look like. And there we go. That's the Pro Max, obviously, what we just talked about. But what do you think, guys? Do you like that? Do you like the design of that? That is what I believe what the new design of the iPhone 17s could actually look like. So, yeah, I really, really hope that you enjoyed that. So that is the potential what could happen there. Now, I know lots of you guys are going to straight away say, that looks like a Samsung now. In fact, I'm just looking at the comments here. Some of you guys are actually saying that. You know, oh, that looks like a Samsung camera design now. I think it comes to the point, how can you win now? You know, I think there's only certain things you can do with a camera on the rear. Horizontal, vertical. What can you do? It's either going to look like a Pixel, it's either going to look like an iPhone. If you put all the cameras in the middle, you know, in a circle, oh, it looks like a OnePlus, it looks like a Xiaomi. I don't think you can win anymore. I think, you know, if you're going to change your camera design, it's going to look like somebody else's. Or, you know, I think, you know, there's other manufacturers out there as well, like in China, for example, who make their cameras design very similar to like the likes of, say, what Apple do right now. Remember, would say the Google Pixels. Up until the Google Pixel 6, they used to have theirs in a little square at the back, very similar to like the iPhone. So, you know, and then they changed it. So, yeah, that is what I would be saying right there with that one. So, That's it. Next question I'm going to answer, because you keep on bugging here, Messy Ginge. And, you know, stop bugging, because otherwise I'll kick you out. I'm not going to be nasty there, but I'm just saying that. What iPhone would you recommend? And I think that's a big question. Well, it depends on what your use case scenario is. If you are a person who loves taking lots of great pro photos, great pro videos, and I mean pro videos, not somebody who's just going out for their holiday snaps or whatever here and there, get yourself a Pro or Pro Max. And especially also if you want to say, oh, look at me, I've got a Pro or Pro Max, get one. If you want a person who just wants a general phone just to work, it just does the job and things like this and be very up to date, get yourself an iPhone 16 or 16 Plus. If you're looking for a great discount out there but still have some great features, get yourself a 15 Pro or a 15 Pro Max, or get a 15. And then also get yourself a 14 if you want to get a better discount. SE if you just want to enter into the Apple market right now, but personally I'd wait on that because obviously new SE model is going to be coming out in the in springtime. So yeah, that's what I would just be saying there. So yeah, on that one. So let's have a look then. Let's see what other people are saying here then for other kind of comments. There you go. I'm just looking back at the other comments. Hey, copying Samsung's Apple is. Like I said, what more can you do with a camera? There's not a lot. And at the end of the day, you know, they all copy each other. I think, you know, you're just going to have to do it here. Mama Cheese says horizontal is better for good balance. That is very, very true. I don't know if anyone here owns themselves an iPhone 11 Pro phone and onwards. And even say the iPhone 12, normal 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Gosh, if you have no case on it and put your phone down on the table, it's so unstable, isn't it? It rocks like anything. So yeah, that's one good thing what I like about a Pixel phone, that it doesn't do that. But then other people go, oh, it damages the camera by doing that, or the bar. But yeah, you're damaging your bottom chin, as it were, of the camera on the back of an iPhone if you don't have a case. So hopefully, you know, this solves the kind of problem that we have here. So yeah, that's that one. Let's have a look then what other people are saying for kind of questions. Let's go back because I skipped over a bit there. People saying, I want an iPhone 17 Air. That's very, very true. Let's have a look then. It says here, Matt, power of the M4 Mini AI, the Life OS support should be extended, correct, especially the Pro variant. I think I know what you're trying to say here, is that because it's got an M4 Pro inside of it, then obviously it's more powerful, so that means that technically the support for it will probably last longer. It's interesting, we don't know where we are with this one yet, because obviously Apple support every single Apple Silicon device and they give it every single feature. So, you know, even though with Apple AI or Apple Intelligence that come out, all M1 devices are fully capable. We have not got to that point yet where we don't know what Apple are going to do, this idea of where they go, we're going to work it by generation or we're going to do it by power. In the good old days, I will say this, is that Apple did it on the age of the CPU. They didn't do it on performance. So for example, you could buy, here's a perfect example for you. You could buy yourself a Mac Pro, a 2010 version, or I think it was the 2012 version. These were the old original cheese grater design, the original tower designs. And they dropped support for them like in 2018, and yet they kept the support of, say, the MacBook. I don't know if you remember the original MacBook, the one that had the butterfly keyboard that was terrible. And that was way slower than the Mac Pro, and yet they kept that supported. You know, it's been out since 2015, and they kept it supported like to 2021. And yet it was way slower. Now, obviously, I know the whole theory that obviously, you know, if you bought it in 2015, you expect some life in it. But I think that proves the point of that performance doesn't matter in Apple's eyes, as it were. It's about how old the chip is, not the performance of what the chip is. So I think that when they do stop supporting M1 devices, they will stop supporting M1 devices. So I mean, they will stop M1, M1 Pro, M1 Max, personally, all in one go, based on Apple's previous history. I could be wrong there, but that is what they have done in the past. what you've got to remember, it's not always about cores and things like this. It's also about how the chip is made and the performance of that chip too. And also, like, for example, the RAM, how fast the RAM is inside of it. So for example, even though there might only be 8 gigabytes of RAM in an M1, and then you've got, say, 64 gigabytes in an M1 Max, the speed of that RAM, you know, it might be the same speed, for example. And Apple was going, oh, that's not fast enough for us anymore, so we'll get rid of all M1s. That is the way how I potentially see them doing this in the future. So, you know, that would be my own opinion there on that one. Let's answer another question then. Sean OD, it says here, Apple should get into making mirrorless cameras too. Maybe. I think they're past that. I think, you know, I think we got to remember is that it was years ago now. I think it was like the iPhone 6 or iPhone 6S. I can't remember who it was now. I think was it Phil Schiller, what his name was. He stood up on stage and said that the iPhone camera is the most popular camera out there right now. I think it was. It could have even been before that. It could have been Steve Jobs. I can't remember who said it. It was so long ago. But that's what I'm talking about. It was that long ago. It was the most popular device to take photos on. And I think Apple know this. So for that reason, I don't think they're going to make mirrorless, you know, cameras, physical cameras. They'll just know they've got their iPhone. And then, you know, if anything, if they were going to venture into anything, it'd be accessories for the iPhone, their own ones, to make them better zoom and things, optical zooms. But I don't know, that could just get messy, couldn't it? That would be, you know, the only thing I think that more likely to do than mirrorless cameras, but even I think that's going to be unlikely. But one thing, it's interesting you do say that. They don't make the lenses and they don't make the sensors for their phones right now. And, you know, I don't know if you remember, we've been looking at leaks and rumors recently that Apple are making their own 5G chips. They're also making their own Wi-Fi chip. What does mean for you guys that your battery life will be extended out even more on new Apple devices because of this. You've got to remember that because they're going to make them even more efficient from the ground up. They're not going to be using Qualcomm's ones. So that'll be really, really cool to see. But if they started making their own cameras, can you imagine what that would be like? And their own sensors? That'd be really interesting to see from my point of view. So yeah, that one I would say that's a possibility that Apple could do that in the future. They might not go to Sony or Samsung to make a sensor anymore or lenses. They could make their own. What would be really, really interesting to actually see that. So yeah, let's have a look then. Let's have a look at another one. I can't pronounce your name, apologies, but it says, do you think on the iPhone SE 4 will look like the iPhone 14? That's a good question. I think it will look like the iPhone 14, potentially, just with the single camera on the back, mainly. The question is, what I think we've been bouncing around is it going to have dynamic island or is it going to have a notch? We just don't know at this stage, because obviously the iPhone 14 normal had a notch still, whereas the 14 Pros had dynamic island. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards the notch, potentially, and that really will show it's an SE. The other questions, obviously, some of you guys are asking, saying, well, what about the iPhone 17 Air? It says here, what will be the main difference? I think, for example, Apple could potentially put in the SE, even say a 12 megapixel camera sensor, whereas with the Air, they could put a 48 megapixel camera in the rear of it. I think it's going to be differences like that. We've also heard that the Air is going to have Pro Motion display inside of it too. And also the normal iPhone 17 is going to have Pro Motion, which is going to be really awesome. It's about time, Apple, isn't it? Whereas the iPhone SE, I cannot see that happening. I think Apple will stick and be stubborn to having a 60 hertz display inside of it. So yeah, it's just one of those sort of things. Let's have a look then what other people are saying. Timely, you've asked a question. Any updates for the iPad AirPods Max? Well, I guess you haven't been on my channel, have you? Because if you go back literally about 6 hours ago, I put a video up all about the AirPods Max 2 and what's likely going to be happening there. So check it out and also subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell because any more information about the AirPods Max 2 will be coming in a future video if you watch that other one. So there we go. Next question here. Dante Shang. Do you think that the MacBook Pro OLED will be thinner than the current models or no chassis refresh? Good question. I personally think it's going to be a new design again, personally. I think that the way how generation changes are going, I'm going to use the iPad Pro as a good example here. The iPad Pro got a new design, didn't it? Do you remember that? And with that, it came thinner. And main reason is because the M4 is more efficient. It's not as hot as say as the M3. I know we didn't have an iPad Pro M3, we had the Pro 2, but it's cooler than that and the M1. And you know, if we start going down, say, a 2 nanometer process, 1 or 3 nanometer process for the M4, let's say that goes down, it's potential that we're going to get even better, more efficiencies and better cooling. So, you know, the fans inside the MacBook Pro could, in theory, get smaller and better. And the battery could potentially get a little bit thinner, but yet would still get the same battery life as the current design right now, if that makes sense. That's what Apple did with the iPad Pro. They made it thinner, yet they kept the same battery life. Now, a lot of you guys like me, we argued when, oh, the iPad should have kept it the same thickness. It was thin enough, wasn't it? And we would have got better battery life, right? But obviously that's not Apple's target here. They want things to be as, I don't know what their obsession is, to make it thin as can be, don't they? Let's make the Apple Watch, you know, Series 10, 10% thinner because we can, and we'll keep the battery life the same. No, Apple, make the same new design Apple Watch, don't make it 10% thinner, give us a bigger battery. I'm just like you guys, I get really, really annoyed by that. So I think what Apple will do, that they will make the new MacBook Pro thinner. I think the OLED screen will be thinner too. So the top sort of part layer of your screen will be thinner. And I think the main body will be thinner too. But you'll probably get the same battery life as its predecessor. Now, we don't know if it's going to be the M5 or the M6 are going to get the OLED MacBook Pro. It's looking towards 2026, 2027, and if you've been here at the beginning of my stream, you will know that I said that the M5s, the beginning of them, potentially going to start coming out 2026, and that would just be the M5, not the M5 Pro, not the M5 Max, just the M5 to begin with. So with that then, you know, if the new MacBook Pros did come out, say, mid-2026 or later, we could get a new design there with the M5 inside of it. You know, it's possible. If not, it'd be the generation after the M6 one when we'd get the new design. Apple like to keep with their MacBook Pros the design for about 4 or 5 years or so. That's how they've done it. So, you know, the Retina MacBook Pro came out in 2012. I'll give you a quick little history lesson here. Started in 2012, and it was 2016 when we got the new design. This was the one where they did slim it down and we just had USB-C ports. And then that was 2016 all the way up to about 2021. 5 years there. And again, before that though, it was 4 years. See what I mean? 4 or 5 years. We're now 2025 almost. And we've had the same design 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 4 years. Next year, 25. See? And we're saying 2026. 6 years. It seems likely, doesn't it? That's what I'd be saying there. So yeah, that's the cool thing there. Right, let's see what else you guys have been asking around. TSMC are rumoured to make future chips from glass for efficiency and conductivity. I've not read that one, Sean O'D. I might have to look into that. Thanks for that one. Let's have a look. Do you think the good doctor, I like your name, do you really think the new generation of Siri will be any more useful than it is now? I think that's a question you've got to ask yourself. What do you want from... sorry if I span off your phones, okay? What do you want from Siri? I think is the big question. What do we want from it? And I think that's the problem Apple just can't figure out. What do we actually want from it? What do we want it to do? Now, we've got Apple Intelligence, AI, ChatGPT, what do we actually want it to do? I can't actually think of why, I think Apple brought out Siri and it was cool at the time. It was a novelty. When it came out, what was it, the iPhone 4S? And then the iPhone 5, it was cool with that too. And the novelty died out soon after. Apple just did not enhance Siri at that time. Obviously, AI was such a baby back then. We couldn't really push that out. Apple couldn't. But it was just disappointing that we just couldn't get much from it. I think that it just died out, the novelty. Now, I know what Apple are trying to do now with ChatGPT. I think that's the thing. ChatGPT and Gemini, even the support for that's going to be coming down the line some point, has definitely been a lifeboat. It's going to help it out here. But I've got my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've been running the beta softwares. I had my iOS 18.1, And now I have iOS 18.2. I have the RC version, yeah, the version before they're going to actually release it. So I think it might come out this week potentially. Story for another day. Do I use it? Not really. Do I use Siri any more than I was using it 2 years ago? No, not really. I think if you are going to be using Siri, if you're using Siri every day, yeah, you will probably continue to use it. And you might use those extra features. But for everybody else who's just kind of given up on Siri, yeah, I think we are just not going to use it potentially. So it's sad. I think Apple lost the time, as it were. It should have been up. Siri should have been pushed out more when we had the times of, say, iOS. I don't know what iOS number it was. I know iPhones. It should have been like iPhone 5S, iPhone 6. They should have done a lot more at that time, and they didn't. So yeah, it was disappointing. And Ukula says, hee, Siri is a grandma now. I remember that when Siri came out, it was so ahead. Then Samsung Bixby came, then Siri kind of lagged and became the grandmother she is today. I like that one. I couldn't agree more. It just, you know, at the end of the day, here's a question for you guys. Do you guys have like I hope I don't span it off. If I say to you the A lady, do you know what I mean? The Amazon A lady who lives inside an Echo device. Her? Yeah? I bet loads of you have that. And I also bet loads of you guys, if you don't have that, probably have a Nest. But what I'll also say is probably not many of you have, say, a HomePod. Maybe one or two of you do. They do sell. But more of you guys will have the other devices, won't you? And I think that's the point. Apple have just lagged behind there. And I think it might be a bit too late for the party. I think they're just adding these updates to Siri because they have to. Because the competitors out there are pushing ahead. So that would be my opinion there on that one. Right, I think we're going to have about 15 minutes left on here, but I'm going to try and answer as more questions as I can. Ask me some more questions, and yeah, I'd love to actually hear from you guys. And obviously, like I said before, any super chats or any stickers like that would be fantastic to actually hear from you guys. So yeah, do let me know. Because your question will definitely be prioritized on that one. Let's have a look then. Question: as the 10-year anniversary iPhone 10 was a huge change, do you think the iPhone 20 will have a big update? That's from Sandy Klein. Good question. No. I think not, personally. Reason is, because if you've been watching, if you've been from the stream at the beginning here, we are looking to getting a new design, aren't we, on the iPhone 17 at last. More leaks than ever have come out to say we're going to get a new design. So if we got a new design on the iPhone 17 models, I can't see that 3 years later they're going to update it again. Back in the old days, I would have agreed, because, do you remember that? Do you remember Apple used to actually bother to update their design every sort of 2 years or 3 years? So do you remember that? We had the iPhone original, then we had the 3G and 3GS. They were very similar looking. The 4 and the 4S, and the 5 and the 5S, the 6 and the 6S, and the 7. They were 3 years, and then we had the 8 did come out, but we had the 10, like you just said. The 10, the 10S, or 10R, and 10S Max, was it? Or XS Max, whatever it was. And then also the 11 and the 11 Pros, they all looked very similar, didn't they? And then the 12 hit, and then we went, oh, new design. And so we thought that come iPhone 14, we will definitely get the new design. Never happened. iPhone 15, it has to be the iPhone 50 gets a new design. And it didn't. And then that's when we thought to ourselves, when the iPhone 16 leaks are coming, yeah, right, we're going to get a new design. There's been no leaks about this, so it's not going to happen. But then this time with the iPhone 17, yes, we've heard new design leaks coming in. Quite a lot of them. So that's why we are thinking that the iPhone, 17 is going to get the design. And because of that, from 12 to 16, what's that? It's 4 years. I cannot see that we're going to get a new design till, maybe even that Apple might change their name convention by then to the iPhone, like, what, 21, 22 at the earliest. That's when we'll probably get a new design again if they've done what they do right now. So just saying, I don't think then that is going to be the difference there. Let's have a look at another question here. Esteban Pandakis, what new features are coming to the M4 MacBook Air apart from the chip? That's it. Slightly better battery life, maybe. You might get an extra hour on the 13 and the 15-inch model. That's it. No new design. Don't expect new design. MacBook Pros have to be updated first with new design. So yeah, the MacBook Air, we've only had the current design for 2 generations, M2, M3, M4 coming. Nothing more. Maybe a new color, maybe. But that is it, really. Not going to get anything else. Maybe slightly brighter display, but don't count on it. Don't expect ProMotion. No, 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 no. You will not get ProMotion. Not on this design of the MacBook Air. So no, nothing on that one. So yeah, that's that. Some other people are asking about the giveaways. I'm guessing you've only just joined this chat. I've already said twice in this video, in this stream, giveaway is happening before Christmas. And that is for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I've got it right here. And I will say again, that will be coming soon. It's not going to be today. So do check out, if you do want to find out more information about the giveaway, make sure you check out, say, the most recent video I've done. I think it's the AirPods Max 2 video today. It'll give you more details what you need to do at this stage for the iPhone 17 Pro, 16 Pro Max, or 17 Pro, 16 Pro Max giveaway that we are doing. So yeah, definitely check that out on that one. But that's not going to be today. What other questions we got here? Fazan, bro, your videos are awesome. Thanks, man. Oh, thank you so much. Very, very nice of you guys to say that on that one. So yeah, that's really, really nice of you to say. So yeah, thank you. It does take a lot of effort to make these videos, so we'll say that. Matt, have Apple ever reached out to you? Do you get invited to product launches, etc.? Well, good question, Chickster777. Apple did reach out to me a couple of months ago, if you remember. And do you remember the iPad mini? The iPad mini, I did a video before it even came out. And so, yeah, they have reached out. And I'm going to be honest here. Have you guys seen that video? I've done the crazy one of the MacBook Pro with the M4 Max, what has like the top amount of RAM, 8 terabytes of storage. And I said it costs like about $6,000, the 14.2 inch model, and I think I compared it to an RTX 4090. Seen that video? That MacBook Pro, I didn't buy it. Apple lent that to me. They're kind enough to lend me some of their gear to actually test out. So that one was a good example where Apple let me review their products for them. So yeah, on that one. So it's really, really nice of Apple to do that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question there. Let's have a look at one or two more questions before we wrap up for today. Big fan from Germany, Sandy Klein. Thank you so much. It means a lot, you guys, for actually joining this live stream today because, yeah, this is the first time I've ever done a Q&A, and I just want to see how good it was. But obviously, if you guys, you know, have enjoyed this Q&A and I hope answering your questions helped out, and you're not a subscriber already, subscribe to this channel because I'm going to hopefully do more of these Q&As in the future. I'd love to do more. I'm hoping to do on that one. Let's answer another question then from people. Should the camera control be like the Apple Watch Crown? Nah. I'm guessing that's from OFYT. I'm guessing you might not have tried out an iPhone 16 yet with the camera control. I couldn't really see it working with the dial, the crown dial, like from an Apple Watch. And I don't see Apple would change it now, especially with the thing what they've got now, the touch capture button. I'll be honest with you, I don't really use the capture button that much. Maybe because I'm not a pro user. Maybe it could be because of that, I don't know. But maybe I've just got too used to just using the screen pinch ability because I've been using that smart screen, you know, pinch ability for the last, 15 years or whatever, since we've had smartphones. So yeah, from that point of view, I don't really use that on that one. Let's have a look then. So, another one from Sandy Klein. When do you think we'll get an all-screen iPhone? Well, I think we're almost close to that. Was it the current iPhone? You've got to remember that the iPhone 16 Pro and the iPhone 16 Pro Max, I think it's like a 98.8%, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's high, full screen ratio. You can't really get much more than that. Really? We're talking literally a full screen phone. If you mean literally no dynamic island or anything like that, so the camera's going to be behind the screen, so there's no like pill or dynamic island, notch, whatever you want to call it, or I don't know, hole punch, then that is going to come in the future, and I think that is going to come potentially by about 2020, I think. You know, Apple have been testing it, but they've got to get it right. If you've used something like a Galaxy Fold and they have that, they make the camera disappear. It's good. But Apple want to get the best out there. This is why we don't have a flip iPhone yet, by the way. Just in case some other people have been asking that question. Why don't, Apple are late to the party. They're copying everybody else here. Apple always do this. They're never normally in hardware the first to do something in hardware. They normally copy up, well, they'd copy. They're normally late to the party because they want to get it perfect. There's a famous speech somewhere on YouTube of Steve Jobs where I think it was when the notebooks, do you remember the little mini notebooks came out, the 11-inch ones, before Chromebooks, those ones that were Linux machines, they weren't very powerful and stuff, and people going, why are you not making these, Apple? And Steve Jobs stood up and said, we don't ship junk. We just don't move junk. We don't do it. We sell premium devices that our customers love, and they have to be the top quality. We will not release something until we think it is perfect in our eyes. And I think this is really, really true of, say, the iPhone 17 Flip or, or 17 Flip or the iPhone Flip or iPhone Fold, because Apple wants to probably get that hinge mechanism so perfect. They wanted to get that hinge even better than what they've got with competitors out there right now. A good example of this, ignore the price because it's so expensive, the Vision Pro. If you've used the Vision Pro, you will know it is the best VR headset that you've ever been inside of or worn. It costs a fortune, I'll give you that. But that's the point though, not the point of the price. Apple waited and waited to get it right. It cost a fortune, I will say that, keep saying the price. I do not give them credit for the price. But it's definitely, and I've said this before, it's definitely the best VR headset I've ever tried. Just a shame about the price. And I think this is what Apple like to do. They will wait around to get things perfect before they release them. But yeah, that's that. Let's have a look then. There we go, Sandy Klein. Yeah, no dynamic island. Like I said, they'll be waiting to get that perfect in how that the screen completely fades away the camera. They want that perfect, whereas Samsung at the moment do an okay job. They want to get that perfect before they do that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question there. In which month exactly will the M4 MacBook Air M4 be released? I'll tell you now, March or April. Okay? I can't give you the exact date because we don't know yet. But it will be March or April. And I think that's quite a good enough kind of time. So you don't keep asking the question over and over again there. So yeah. Mama Chi again. Did you ever buy an Apple Vision Pro? I did. And you're going to go, where is it? I sold it. I used it. It was good. Do you know something? I'll tell you this. I was in, you haven't guessed already, I'm from the UK, and I brought a a Vision Pro when I was in California back in March time this year. I went and bought it, and it was great and everything. And I tested it, got home, used it, and I was about to make videos with it, but then the MacBook Air, there we go, came out in March. And I just didn't get time to finish the video. Or was it early April, the MacBook Air, didn't it? Yeah, I just didn't have time to do it. And by that point, other people had done the reviews, and there was just nothing standing out for the Vision Pro. So I kept it, and you might have saw it in some of the background of some of my videos as well. It was sitting behind me, and I just wasn't using it. And so in the end, I just sold it because it just wasn't being used. And yeah, it was one of those sad sort of things to see that. So yeah, I will say that on that one. What other things are people saying here? Do you believe Apple will ever release a small phone again? Good question. In smallness in height, no. So smaller screen size, like a 5-inch screen or 5.5-inch screen or 4.7-inch screen, whatever they are now with the iPhone SE, no. Because no one really sells them anymore. I think it was Asus. They did one and it was brilliant, but they just didn't sell. I hate to say this, if you like small iPhones, full credit to you, but more people like larger ones, sadly. I think where Apple are stepping towards now are thinness of an iPhone or a flip phone, because obviously in your pocket, that will be a smaller thing in your pocket, and then when you get it open, that's it. I don't believe they want to make a smaller screen phone something to hold in your hand anymore to be smaller. What I believe is, like we answered in the other question, is that they want to make their screens more full size of the actual device, like a 99% ratio of the whole screen. I think that's their way they're going forwards on this one. I don't think they're going to make a small one again. The problem with the Mini was it didn't sell well, and everyone moaned about the battery life. And, you know, going, oh, it's really bad battery life. I can't even get a day out of it. And if you speak to people who own an iPhone SE right now, that's what they moan about. The battery life's awful in this. You're going to have a bigger device. It's got to be thicker, or it's got to be bigger to have a, you know, to give better battery life. You can't win. So I don't think they're ever going to do that again, bring out a small iPhone. I think they tried it. It didn't do as well as they thought. I think it was in total, every time they did, when they did the 12 mini, I think it took less than 5% of their sales of all their iPhones they sold. The iPhone SE sold more. And then the same with the 13 mini. I think it picked up a little bit because of battery life, but it was something like about 7%. It was not good. So for that reason, they dropped it completely, and that's when they made the Plus on that one. But I'm just going to answer one more question, and then I'm going to call it a day. And I want to thank everybody on this one. A lot of people ask about SEs and things like this. I've answered this already earlier in this, and there are videos on my channel. And what I will say is there are more videos coming in the future. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and especially also the giveaway is coming soon, not today, on another day. So yeah, make sure you check out for that. And so yeah, last question I'm going to answer here is, do you think Apple will put in an iPad Pro M4 screen in an iPhone? I'm guessing you mean a mini LED display. No, they won't. The main reason behind that is because the screen, the tandem OLED, sorry, I'm thinking of mini LED, aren't I? I'm thinking of last generation, my mistake. Potentially, they could. But the OLED display, I'm just thinking about this in my head right now, the OLED display right now is very, very good. Tandem OLED is hard to make at a small scale. And for them to even put it in an 11-inch device was tricky. If you know about tandem OLED technology, any kind of physics, scientists, engineers, whatever out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's tricky to make it small OLED, especially with the tandem technology. So for that reason, if they are, it's going to be a long way down the line. It's not going to be happening anytime soon. But do remember, we do have OLED displays in all of the iPhones, bar the iPhone SE. All of them have OLED displays now, all the new ones. So obviously, you know, if you own an iPhone 11, yeah, you have an LCD screen. I think that was the last one, actually. It was the iPhone 12s onwards, all had OLED displays put in them. So, yeah, on that one. So that will be in the future, potentially, on that. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Let's just answer one last question then, and that was, should you think Apple should provide Apple AI in base iPhone 15 models? That's a very good question. I think we'll leave it on that one, and that is, I think it was one of the big bummers that we got with that, was Apple knew that AI was coming, and I think, in my opinion, I think that personally all iPhone 14s, the 14, maybe not the 14 actually, because it was the same as the iPhone 13, wasn't it? Even had the same chip. Was it the A15, wasn't it? Same chip. I think the iPhone 14 Pros, the iPhone 15s, all of them, including the 15 and 15 Plus, should have had it. And the reason why they don't have it is because of the RAM. The 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max and all of the 16s have 8 gigabytes of RAM inside of it. And that is what makes Apple Intelligence work. It needs that breathing space. The 15 didn't have it at 16 gigs, and so did the 15 Plus. It had, sorry, not 16, it had 6 gigabytes of RAM. And the same with the 14 Pro, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and also the same with the 14, had 6 gigabytes of RAM. And that's what let it down. It couldn't take it for that reason. So yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment on that one. So sad in a way, because obviously I know a lot of people like Google have been doing AI for ages. Samsung have even started rolling out, I think it was their Galaxy AI, even to like the S22, you know, and we're on S24. S25 is around the corner, and yet they can go back to S22. So yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment, I would say there. But there we go, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up for this evening. It's been fantastic to have you guys here tonight to answer your questions. I've been loving to answer them. And thank you so much for joining me this evening, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, I hope that you have a good night's sleep or have a good rest of your day. And more videos are coming out this week, and some great ones coming. So that's going to be really, really exciting. And like I said, the giveaway announcement and information, the rest of the information for that is going to be coming soon in the near future too. So like I keep saying, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, because more information is coming about that very, very soon. And with that, guys, I will say goodbye to you. Thank you so much again, and goodbye.